All right, so we're gonna look at the Primatte node now. So Primatte is really primarily good for two things. Like the other node, it has a bunch of settings here, but most of them you will never use. To simplify your learning and to save you time, I'm going to teach you how everyone basically uses it and the primary features of what makes Primatte actually useful versus going through some of these settings that I basically have never touched in my entire career again. So there's a couple of things like that in Nuke that they have like all these things. It's sort of similar to the Ultimate, which I talked about earlier, where you have this like huge keyer and it's way overcomplicated for what it needs to be because there are better tools to do that. So I'll focus on basically the things you actually need to know. And of course, there's Nuke documentation, which I can link if you guys are really interested in going through some extra things like that. But in order to save time and make your learning worthwhile, I'm going to try to cut it to the point. So the primary feature here is we have a little drop down here that says if we open the Primatte, we have the Smart Select background color. So that's the color you're going to key. So Primatte is actually good at kind of doing hue keys, meaning we can kind of select this red, for example, and we can control drag. You see I disabled it while I'm doing this so we don't get the flickering. And once we have that color selected, let me just make sure it's actually working there. Once we have that color selected, I think this color here isn't updating for some reason, but it is working. You'll see that the color that we selected is turning black. So, for example, the red on his shirt there. So that's pretty useful in terms of getting like specific colors. Like, for example, if you just wanted to key this kind of gray color, we could go there and key it. And the way we can, so I'll select the green just to show you. So I'll select the green. You see that we're keying the green. But we're left with a lot of gray. So the main ones you'll use is the clean background noise and clean foreground noise. So clean background noise, you can basically just go in here and select, and you control drag. You select a bunch of points, or you can do the control shift to sample an area, and it kind of sponges out different areas of the key. So that's how you key with this specific tool. And that's its primary use, is to just go through, sponge it out, and get kind of a hard key. I wouldn't really recommend this tool for despilling. It does have a despiller in it, so you can see there's a spill sponge. So I'll show you guys it, but I don't really recommend it for despilling, like I said. But anyway, we'll just show it anyway. So if you click spill sponge and you click where there's some spill, sometimes you can, like for example here on the edge, if you kind of click it, you can kind of despill that edge a little bit. It's not the best though, because it's kind of contaminating different areas. So that's kind of something I wouldn't use particularly. It's really these three that you'll use: clean background noise, clean foreground noise, which will, if you have an alpha and there's some holes in it, basically it will just add it back to the alpha. So if I control drag while I have that selected, it'll keep the area I select and add it back into the alpha. So if I, for example, if I gamma way down, maybe there's some areas here that have holes, so I can select them and fill that alpha, and then put the gamma back up to 1. And maybe if we wanted to try to key off the legs, we could go to clean background noise, and we could make that a little bit stronger there. So that's going to give us a nice hard key that we could use for our core, which we'll learn about. But I wouldn't use it for the hair areas. And yeah, it's pretty good. So that's pretty much what you need to know for Primatte. And there's some different algorithms here. You can switch between them. Sometimes it will give a slightly different type of alpha. So I'll kind of switch between them sometimes just to quickly see if it will give us something useful. And you can see if I select clean foreground noise, it gives us a slightly different result by having that algorithm different. So really that button there and these 3 boxes here are the main things you'll use. So let's just try to get in clean foreground noise. And this is actually doing a decent job even on the slightly softer areas. Again, key light, if we just compare it though, and we just use a key light, we'll see if I select that area, disable the node, and then do the little color pickers average, you'll see that this is a much softer key even than the Primatte. So the Primatte is very similar, but the Keylight still has more detail. So that's where you can see the strengths and weaknesses of the two. And so that's pretty much a quick overview of Primatte. And we will move on to IBK.